showing. But yeah, we keep going and going. But it's time like forever. We've done it over and over. Will we ever reach the end? How do we get through the night? Do we have to fight? Outwake ourselves to stop the winning night. Maybe we can redefine what it means to give you time.
Well, there you go. He had it here first. And you've also heard in the chat from Apollo Pepsi, dry. So I'm pretty sure their drivers will be licking their lips now. And 18 minutes of qualifying ahead.
Yeah, it looks like we've got multiple medium runners out on track right now. Several of them. 8 so far, I'm counting. And the first 2 out on track, both on mediums, so 2 Alpha Romeo. So getting the season underway right away, DZ. I don't mind it. You want to get that rhythm in early on in quali. You just want to get that program kind of set down. You'd reckon you don't want to invalidate those lap times. If you invalidate those qualifying laps, well, you have to make up for it down the line. You have to have a safe lap in somewhere, or a valid lap in. Otherwise, if you don't, you're obviously down the field.
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially in 18-minute qualifying, around here, that's 3 runs maximum. Maybe you can go for a double push, but you run out of battery on the second lap. So, under pressure straight away from these tier 2 early on.
Yeah, it's almost not worth it when you think about it. Think about tyre wear around here. Soft tyres, they do last a fair amount of time. It's around 10 to 12 laps they will last in terms of wear before they get to like 60% mark, maybe 8, I should say, 8 to 10. But the real issue is the wear and the heat you get into them. They tend to lose a lot of pace around lap 4 if you've done a hot lap on them and start on them in the race. Frozzle, first man across the line now, easy. And he will be getting us underway for this Tier 2 Season 8 here in Baku.
Yeah, on the medium tyre now, coming through the second corner. Making sure not to hit that inside curve. It'll just cost you a lot of time down the straight here. And the DRS is open for the first time in the lap, Seb.
Yeah, it will. You see him on that outside curb on entry. Just unwinding the car very nicely, I'd say that much. So using ABS once again, inside curve for turn 4. We want to avoid those inside curbs. If not, you just want to kiss them. Turn 5, one of those curbs you can ride. And likewise with turn 7 up ahead, really tight. You're braking as that TV screen just comes into view on your right hand side. So the wall kind of spits to the right. In the castle section, the famous castle section. We saw some incidents here getting very close to the right hand side wall there, DZ. But a lot of time to gain if you absolutely nail it. Like he's had a pretty clean castle section, pretty fast.
Yeah, he was right up against that wall on the right. Very close for comfort early on in qualifying, Seb. This man's done some practice, evidently. There's no way he'd be pushing up. But speaking of pushing up, pushing off that curve on the exit there. And a little bit of wheel spin as he comes around the final proper corner, I'd say, Seb. In the dry as you blast through these 2 sweepers and onto this massively long straight. It feels like you're just waiting for something to happen here.
You are.
You're waiting
and
for
you can pretty much have a nap.
Yeah, you're waiting for that detection point. You're waiting for that detection point, get the DRS open, and then the finish line comes up and it's a 140.1 for Frozzle here to open the account of the Tier 2 season.
That is an okay lap, but not amazing from Frozzle on the medium tyres. We'll see what times will be put out and about. Lick, just under a 10th off his forehead, getting his stamp out from Tier 3. He puts his way into P1, and 5 tenths ahead of the next soft runner, Psycho, in P3. As Smitty, oh, hello there.
Made the move over to the Williams. Made the change of starting time, let's say. Now 8:30 on the Sunday night, Smitty. And it is P1 at the moment to start his account for the season.
Sneaky, a 39.3 DZ. That is quite fast on the medium yellow walled tyres as well. Watch out for him. He is my pick. He's my favourite for the championship in this 14-round season.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a good 6/10 delta between the 2 tyre compounds. So that's indicating he's got a lot of pace in that Red Bull.
Yeah, but don't forget about Zay. He's about to start his first lap. He's someone else we should have a good eye on. I've forgotten about him. I'd actually slide him ahead of Kalios in my prediction, I should say. Completely overlooked him. So he's quite a fast driver. And I think it's ultimately going to come down between Sneaky and Zay, I believe. But 14 rounds, a lot can happen in 14 races. It's a lot of laps.
It's not the longest of seasons, but still a long season, lots of opportunity. But they'll be wanting to get off to a good start.
What it does mean is there's more value on each round you have. So it's hard to pull back all those points that you can lose if you have a big mistake or even a small one. It just leads to a loss of, let's say, 5 points from dropping several positions, not getting a fastest lap or something like that. Right now, Zay going purple apparently. Now, the game does play tricks on us, so don't always get the right sector times, but looks like he's quite on it right now, the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he is up through the castle section. But speaking of those points, 350 is the maximum in terms of finishing position points you can achieve for the season versus 600 last season. So that's almost half the amount of points.
Is that including fastest laps or just without fastest laps?
No fastest laps. So
no fastest
you throw
laps.
14 points on there.
Yeah,
that
364.
364?
Yeah, you said 350, right?
350, 364? Yeah, I didn't count the 14 fastest laps.
Yeah. Well,
it is pretty hard to win with fastest lap.
It is.
Here comes Zay. He's going to be wanting to put the fastest lap of the session on the board. It's looked a little bit scruffy in points, and we're going to see as he crosses the stripe. It goes up to P4, 39.7. So not quite the lap of Sneaky, but still a pretty good one on those mediums.
Yeah, looks like he's matching Smitty's time at the moment. At the moment, looks like a lull period in the qualifying. Going to have multiple of those. Only 3 guys out laps. Forehead, Mika, and Mr. Spicer. Mika and Mr. Spicer both yet to set lap times.
Mr. Spicer. So, man without a time now on the soft compound tyre. And yeah, it degrades very quickly here, this soft. You can make it last, but the rear end really goes towards the end of the stint. As you push to, above 5 laps, that's when the drop-off really is noticeable, Seb.
Yeah, and even I noticed around lap 4, you start feeling it. You can feel like you're going faster, but very next lap, you go brake into turn 3 or turn 1, and you start feeling those rears just slide a bit too much for your liking. And that's when you can start seeing some guys spin. Surprisingly, I'm not sure if you watched Tier 3 or not. I can't remember if we've seen anybody spin a turn 19, and that can sometimes be spots where people spin on those worn softs or even worn mediums.
Yeah, definitely. And in the intermediate conditions of Tier 1, it wasn't easy there. But I definitely wasn't keeping it flat. I lost all confidence in the car after multiple wing changes. And just try to get the car home at the end, and unfortunately no points, but it's just the start of the season.
Next race is Bahrain. That is happening next week on the 20th of March.
That it is. Very popular track, Bahrain, among the drivers. Good racing potential, just like here at Baku.
Yeah, with the double DRS straight turn, the final corner, turn 16 to turn 1, and then turn 3 all the way to turn 4. Right. It certainly brings cars together. It helps when, only 20% loss of downforce, I believe, not even in this game. So it is quite easy to follow. And that certainly makes it easy to race.
Yeah, it definitely is tucked up behind the car. You can notice it a little bit, but it's far from the realistic amount of downforce reduction. As keeper, mate, he's just had a big moment at turn 16, and he's lost the entirety of the front wing on that Mercedes. Luckily, he hasn't got too far to struggle back to the pit lane.
Quite a few people in Tier 3 were dropping the car in qualifying at that spot. At least 2 people did it in front of me when I was starting my laps, so I did see that. Smitty right now.
Easy to do if you don't hit sort of that exit curve correctly.
Yeah.
You really got to commit to get to the the right hand side with your right tires, or else if you're a bit on top of it, It's like Kimi Räikkönen back in 2018 it was, when he lit it up there when he was on for pole.
Believe so.
Well, that was his last year at Ferrari, so... It must be. Because I remember having the halo on the car, so...
Yep, that'll be it.
Bit of toe action here from the AlphaTauri boys.
Yeah, and while that's happening, I believe Nemo and Forehead have jumped into P2 and 4.
Both on the softs, and Smitty's coming out on the mediums, mate.
Well, it looks like he'll improve, and he has!
He has.
I wonder if he'll retire now.
Half a 10 faster on the medium with 39.1. That's a good time from the Williams driver. Saying that, Dalek's just gone faster in the Haas.
Just coming out swinging, but I just want to point out, Sneaky was up 8 tenths at the Sector 2 split. He's got an invalid lap time right now. So I expect him to pit.
Flyer. Yeah,
expect him to pit. He's got to reply with something later on. He's got to make sure that lap's clean, otherwise, obviously, he'll be starting down lower in the field than you'd expect him to. Dalek getting himself up there. Kind of overlooked him as well. A lot of drivers, or several drivers I've overlooked here. Dalek, one of them. Psycho can get himself up there. He's got some good quality pace. Race pace is a bit hit and miss from time to time. He can get in there. Interesting enough, we got the two McLaren guys, P9 and 10, as Frozzle. Okay, things are getting interesting now.
They are. So he goes into the 1:38.8s as well. So he very closely separated with the Haas there in P2. Not much between them. You blink and you miss it.
Quite literally.
As we've got Nemo, and he improves by just under 0.2 of a second, and he goes past Sneaky.
Interesting enough, the three people on track still fitted with medium tyres. Skins, one of them, Combat Rat the other, so both McLarens, one of them in the pit. I believe Skins is going to come in for a lap now? Sorry, to pit now, I should say.
Yeah, well, I think
like
if you leave it any later, you won't have time to do another lap, get in, get out, do the out lap, and start before 000.
Yeah, exactly. Smitty into the pits.
We got Memphis Reigns as well into the pit lane, but here comes Lick, and he goes up to P1, a 38.5. So he goes almost 0.3 clear of the field. That's
I wouldn't say out of nowhere.
Lick, but he's going to have to continue licking the stamp if he wants to get another run.
That was bound to come at some point. Good thing we've got it out the way now.
It's gone now.
It's gone.
The little twitches, the little urges, it's gone now.
Well, we haven't had a chance to say his name yet until that point, so can't overlook Lick. He did have the pace last season, but wasn't really able to race in the final quarter of the season that much. But he's come out swinging so far. First round, but he's not pulling any punches. 38.59, so basically a 38.6, 2.5 tenths ahead of next best Frozzle, but you've got to keep in mind, Zay, I don't think he's done a representative time of what he can do. Same with Sneaky. So Spicer could improve, so could Forehead. Smitty's done that time on the medium tyres.
Yeah,
so.
I was about to say, Smitty's got 0.6 in his pocket if he wants it, just from the soft compound.
Yeah,
so at the moment it's Smitty, Sneaky, the two McLarens and Zay who have their time set on the medium.
Oh, I'd just like to point out, I said Carlios at the start on for a podium. It's not really doing me any favours here.
And both of them are struggling. And Keith setting off on his next attempt in the Black Arrow.
In the Black Arrow.
The heavily shaded Silver Arrow.
Good way of putting it.
Oh, it's not a colour, is it?
Yeah.
I do like it though. I also do like the new Merc, but that's in the wall. And I don't think the mechanic's going to be liking the look of that front wing when it returns to the pit lane.
Well, it's probably going to ruin his run. On the topics of the Mercs, favourite Merc? Mine was 2019.
Is there a none of the above?
None of the above.
Probably 2020. I like the black.
You like the black?
I like the black.
I liked it when it first came out.
never
I didn't
really-
like it this season.
I think the best of the silvers was the 19. Especially early on, I don't think they were anything pretty to look at. But if I look back at that sort of V8 era, there's not really many cars that stand out as being overly attractive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Especially those 2012 cars with those step noses. Shocking.
At least the McLaren didn't have it. It still had the Vodafone livery as well. But it is that time. It is crunch time. Doing a hot lap with forehead here.
Let's do it. So bringing up the forehead. And it's do or die now, mate. This is where you really got to put it on the line.
It is do or die. DRS open. And it's all about patience. Get that car to the right, DZ. It's time to start your lap. Go over the line. You're braking just before that 100-meter board, throwing the car into turn 1 over that outside curb on the traction. Now you're braking at this little crossing white lines. Throwing that car in again. Once again, missing the curb on the corner. DRS open. Get that car to the left a bit. Shortest line to the outside of turn 3. Another one where you just brake just at 100 meters. You know, it's okay to clip the inside curb, just don't hit that outside wall because it can ruin your little run to turn 4. He hits that inside curb, he gets that car left, now swing it right. You got 5 and 6. This is my favourite complex on the track, but everybody else hates it. You turn in at that black box, you brake at the same time, and you're getting up through the gears all the way down to the tricky turn 7. Then you got the castle section. Braking quite early, kind of open up the run down to the castle section. Now here we go, just hold your breath and throw the car in there. Just believe that it'll hold on, and it does so beautifully. Misses the apex of turn 11 though. That'll cost him time. Out of turn 12, get that throttle down, plant it as much as possible, little wheel spin as possible. Now keep this left and keep it tight. You want to cover as little distance as possible, braking past that outside curb on the right hand side. Oh, he's gone a bit deep, he's tapped the wall. There'll be a little bit of time, DZ. Right there, you're braking 80 meters now. Yeah, he's got a bit of traffic as well, and Lick's right there, and that that was a planned toe. It didn't work out. It's put to the floor though. Keep that thing planted. Keep that steering wheel such an acute angle. Don't want to scrub too much time off. Now straight line this from turn 20. DRS open. Do not turn that steering wheel. Just hold your breath. Hold your nerve. To the line. It's only good enough for P4, DZ.
Maybe it was going to be a toe the other way, but once he hit the wall, they swapped it back around. Who knows? But that's definitely done him no favours as the saggy kid moves up to 11th. Not a bad position to be in at the start, P11.
Very good, but there's a lot of moving to do. A lot
of cars. And as that you were calling that lap, mate, there was a 5-place penalty out there. I think for Dalek, and maybe possibly a second car. We'll verify after the session.
Oh, I'm just on board with Sneaky right now. 2 Alfa Romeos, Frozel and Zay in the final sector. Sneaky right behind them. Check what Sneaky's sector split is. He's up 1.1 seconds. That is massive.
He is flying in that charging bull as Zay goes second in the Alfa Romeo. But all eyes on this man in the Red Bull. 1.1 seconds up.
Watch out, DZ.
Could
this
he
is going to
pull
be
out a
quick.
37? Not quite, but he's on to pole at 38.222. Can anyone stop him?
Committee can't. He's invalidated. Forehead is obviously down. He finished his lap before. Kalios into P4. Dalek looks like he's down in his time by like 7/10. Lick also down by 1/10 on his time as well. Actually a second for Lick, so Sneaky might have just gotten pole here. I think that's it, Daisy.
Moving over towards the pit lane, and yes, mate, that is it. It is Sneaky on pole position. A 138.222 ahead of Lick, Zay, Kalios, and Frozel, the top 5. That's a cracking lap from the man in the Red Bull. Great way to open up the season.
If you remove Sneaky from this tier 2 grid, from Lick to Skins, that is a 1 second gap. It almost includes Snaggy Kid and Maker into that. That is a huge train of cars.
Very, very, very close. But even if you include the Red Bull, it's still very, very close. That's just a great lap from the man.
Great lap, he must love the circuit. He's absolutely smashed that out of the park right there.
So Smitty, still in the top 10 with those mediums. That's pretty big as well. He just didn't put that soft lap in at the end.
Yeah, he didn't, and he was up, I think, 3 or 4 tenths, so he probably could have jumped his way into P5. Didn't seem like the cleanest lap, but could have had that couple extra positions up there. But just to confirm, Dalek hit skins, and that's how he got his 5-place grid drop.
Unfortunate. Not the way you'd want to be starting the season. So he'll be moving back behind Psycho, outside of the top 10 on the grid.
Interesting enough, Psycho gets to start on mediums, as well as Smitty, if Psycho decides to end up choosing the medium tyres as his starting tyre.
Yeah, you never know. They take the weight a whole lot better than medium tyre, especially around here. If you you could come blitzing through the field at the end of the race on a fresh set of soft tyres, but we'll wait and see, shan't we?
We will. We will indeed. Nice to see Kalios finally getting that lap in. Well, just under half a second off of Sneaky though. And we got the 2 Alfa Romeos in P3 and P5. So we got something building here. If it's not for the fight for the P1, if Sneaky's just too fast in the race, then we do have something building for P2.
After watching that qualifying, you'd really rate Sneaky's chances here, but stranger things have happened in Baku.
Strange things always happen. I mean, that castle section is a great equaliser. Just not on it.
You got to be on the edge every lap, but you can be so close to the edge, you can step over it very, very quickly. It's so narrow. What is it? 12 meters through there?
Oh, I don't even think it's
either
close to
12 or 8. Someone in the chat will know. Let us know.
It might be 6, is it? 6 or 7?
I don't think 7 or 8. I think 8 sounds alright.
8 sounds right. It's definitely not 12.
It doesn't look 8 meters wide when you've got a 2 meter Formula 1 car coming through. It looks like it's about 2.5 meters wide, especially as you're rocketing through on board.
It looks 6 meters wide. Say that much. It is not a fun piece of track to try and overtake in, or go too wide. So, I think we'll be seeing a lot of negotiating when it comes to that part of the track.
Someone's got to give.
Someone does have to give,
No
yes.
one wants to give, do they?
Yeah, that's racing.
They say rubbing is racing.
Rubbing a wall.
Rubbing the wall or rubbing a competitor? I'm not sure. I did a whole lot of rubbing the wall in the previous race.
We do have a check on tyres. 4 drivers on medium. Smitty started in the top 10. He has to start on those medium tyres. That's what he qualifies on. Nemo, Skins, and Mika all on the mediums as well.
Certainly in for an interesting race. I'd like to see what Smitty can do from there. He's in a great spot on those medium tyres.
He is.
It's not going to take long for him to have the advantage.
We'll have to keep an eye on him. By about lap 4, we should see those medium tyres come to life, and we should see him start making some moves, especially with DRS. If we see some guys battle here, I mean, we saw how tight that grid was. We could very much see Smitty in P3, but he's also got to navigate the first 3 corners where the mediums aren't really up to temperature compared to the soft tyres. And he's got the Spicer behind, Combat Rat. Psycho's an excellent launcher off the grid. However, it is an extremely short run to turn 1.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of risk for a little reward down there. You can't really make too many moves down in that first corner, and it just tightens up on the exit with that exit wall on the right. Easy to find yourself there, escorted into the barrier, let's say, if you're 3 wide out the exit.
It's also very easy to get caught in a 3 wide in that corner on the exit. You said it tightens up, and certainly feels that way with how wide you are on the entry.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's not the worst turn 1 to go 3 wide in.
Yeah.
It's when you arrive down at turn 2, it's just such a tight corner as combat, right? And Psycho being kicked off of the formation lap for a little bit of naughty touching, I suspect.
First of the season, all tears.
Someone had to do it. Someone had to open up the season. Someone's got the
Combat
record.
and Psycho.
Now, which one was it? We won't know. They'll know.
They'll know. That one will be sheepishly grinning, and the other will be quite annoyed. But luckily, it's at the end of the lap. Just waiting on keeping the form up, and we'll be underway.
All yours, mate.
All mine. Oh,
All yours.
Thank you.
Well, you don't get many for the season, so I thought I'd be a gentleman.
Too kind. Too kind. But nevertheless, kindness is over. It is race time. The 5 lights over these drivers. There's a quick set of lights, and they're out straight away. Looks like everyone's getting away cleanly so far. Looks like a McLaren is bogged down the back, but oh, we have a 3 wide already. And the McLaren is, sorry, McLaren, a Haas has absolutely sent it into turn 1. Looks like that's Nemo, and it's caused a decent pile up at the back. This is Spicer involved, Psycho involved, Combo Rat and Skins, both the McLarens are involved, and that looks like Nemo with damage. He was the one that looked like he sent it down the inside, missed his braking point, and has caused that big collision. Forehead is down the field as well, but it looks like he's got away unscathed. Everyone else looks pretty clean so far. Sneaky leads us away, followed by Lick, then Frozzle, then Kalios and Zay, both all those top 5, I believe, holding position with Dalek in P6. He's jumped up massively in that Haas with all those collisions below. Smitty holds his position in P7 with Sage Kid behind in P8. Bassa P9 and Meek is jumping into the points with Keeper up from 17th to 11th.
That was a big hit there for Forehead at turn 1. Not quite sure who it was who came up the from the back of the field, just got it all wrong down at turn 1, the braking, unfortunately, for those who were involved.
Yeah, I believe it was Nemo by the looks of it. He just absolutely sent it, and Sneaky already has that 1 second gap to Lick right now. So, like I was saying before, I think it was just going to be a race for P2, and that might be building up right now, but Lick also trying to build that 1 second gap to Frozzle right behind. Then all the way down, we have a 1.8 second gap from Smitty to Dalek in that train. Then that goes all the way down to P11, where Keeper is Forehead 1.8 behind, getting kind of tangled up in that incident. I hope he doesn't have damage. Doesn't look like it.
Oh,
that's the Mercedes, and it's Kalios. He's dropped it out of turn 19. And we have a VSC already. Will we see some cars pit? Obviously, we had 4 cars, at least 5 had damage. And we are seeing Smitty come to the pits right away.
Virtual safety car, and yeah, Smitty in. I thought he might have had damage. He was, he dropped 2 seconds over the lap. And that's a bit heartbreaking for the lad. He was in such a great position on those mediums. But race isn't over. We're under the virtual safety car, so it'll be a cheaper stop. But that wing change feels like it takes forever.
Feels like an eternity every time you have a wing change. Unless you're in the lead by about 25 seconds. And that's a whole different thing. But even then. So we have 16 left. Lap 2, VSC already at the end of lap 1 for Kalios, dropping it out of turn 19, losing the rear and slamming the right side of that wall in sector 3.
There's some of those position changes, mate. Dalek up 6, Saggy Kid up 8, Vasa up 9. Big moves. And some big losers as well.
Yeah, massive losers. Forehead and Smitty down 6 and 8 respectively. And then you look at the Alfa Romeos, P3 and P4, it's a great start for them as we have green flag racing now.
So Lick's closed the gap.
Yeah, he has.
And critically, that's helped him get to the DRS sort of lap 3 timing. He can hold on just for 1 more sector. Yeah,
you're right, 1 more sector. That DRS does come into play from turn 2 onwards with that detection point just before turn 2 in the braking zone. Alright, now he's got to juice a bit. Sneaky has 80%, Lick has 90%. Now Frozzle just trying to hang on, same with Zay. If they can all hang on to Sneaky, that's big news, but I think he might just have the pace to pull away. End of the day though, it's how you manage these soft tyres.
Yeah,
one corner do it, exactly.
One corner, do or die.
Do or die. DRS is enabled. Talking about that just then. Looks like he might have just done it.
I think he has.
Oh, it's getting
He's
tight.
Try, but to no avail on this occasion. And Sneaky,
right now,
if he can keep up the pace throughout the lap, he should theoretically break away with what pace we know he has in that car.
Yeah, Keeper and Psycho right now battling it out for P9. Final 2 points positions. Combat Rat in the mix as well. Psycho just having a look down the inside of the Mercedes driver. We'll think better of it. Pulls out the way. Back onto the racing line. See how tight the walls are. When you're battling someone, it just feels ever so tighter. And you have to be ever so more cautious just to leave them space as well. Keeper missing a lot of apexes here. Psycho just able to holding on to that rear wing of the Mercedes.
Not the easiest place to make a pass in this middle sector of the lap. And
Yeah,
especially on
ooh.
lap 3, where we've already seen a bit of chaos in this race. Maybe just holding back a little bit. We've got the DRS now, and Psycho knows a Keeper isn't going to have it when we come to the massive long straight along the pit lane. You can just dig in until then.
Dig into then, exactly. You can get some surprise moves into turn 7, but you need to have some outright pace to do it.
Yeah, it
You're not
normally
getting-
relies on your rival as well, not having the best of runs through the 5-6
Exactly.
chicane.
Not wrong about that at all, but here we go. I'd say round 2. I believe they swap positions. Sector 2 yellow flags. I think that's Skins in the castle section, but
It
I
is.
don't think he's retired
I
just
think
yet.
Lick's
Lick's
got
past
back
lap.
into the DRS.
He has. Psycho overtakes Keeper well before turn 1. But times are tumbling down here, and we're getting some battles building as well. Lick back into the DRS of Sneaky. Psycho and Keeper going out for P8, 9 and 10 as Dalek has caught it into the pits early. Looks like he'll go onto the medium tyres. And we'll go to the end for there. Barring no safety cars. Smitty the fastest lap on the medium tyres, so he is currently the fastest man out on track at the moment.
That's a really impressive effort from Lick to hold on for 3 sectors. And well, not just to hold on, but to get back within the DRS of Sneaky. And
He's
that's really set him up for a good result now. He's poised for a great result. He's
He's
got
brought
to
it
dig in
back.
now.
He's brought it back. I would like to highlight he has a yellow fuel light, so he needs these safety cars to come out. Otherwise, he could be in some big trouble come the end of the race.
Yeah,
regarding
minus
fuel.
0.9, mate. Looking at the steering wheel, minus 0.9 laps of fuel. So
Oh,
he's got
jeez,
he's got
that
a
is-
lot of lifting, coasting, or a lot of praying to do.
Or
And speaking
yellow
of,
flag,
we've got a bit
sector
of
2.
chaos further back.
I think that's Massa in the Alpine.
Ooh!
Did he nearly come across the line of Mr. Spicer there?
He did. Spicer had to really avoid to the left there. Well
Oh.
done from the man. But yeah, not the let's say the most safe of rejoin attempts. But
Well-
back at the front for the lead. They're very close as the DRS opens for the Aston Martin driver.
Oh,
And blasting past on the pit wall side and into turn 1, he takes the lead on the
Takes
streets
the lead.
of Azerbaijan.
takes lead, but does Sneaky have a reply here, DZ? Combat Rat exchanging positions with Keeper down the field, but Keep with this battle. Oh, looks like Lick just has superior traction to the Red Bull. Out of turn 2, Red Bull has no answer for the traction of the Aston Martin, and Lick will get to keep that P1 position at least for the next 3/4 of a lap. We'll expect this battle to last a lot longer. Zay and Frozzle still just kind of pulling each other along in the Alfa Romeo, sitting very nicely in P3 and P4. Don't forget about Mika and Psycho though in P6 and P7. These guys look like they're about to battle it out for 8 points at this moment in time.
Sneaky doesn't look like he's having the best time with those rear tyres already, and it's only lap 5, and we spent, let's say, 3/4 of a lap under that VSC a little bit earlier on, Seb. So he's sliding a lot around, especially up through the castle there, and that's just going to do, it's not going to do you any better. It's just going to make it worse.
Completely agree. Well, what's interesting is you think about it, this could be either because of lower rear wing, or it could just be he's gone really aggressive on that rear suspension or rear anti-roll bar. It's just throwing those rears around and it's not doing any good for the tyre wear. He has to pit, I'd think so. Undercut at this stage, lap 5 to 6 is worth around 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. So I think it's worth it for Sneaky to undercut here because he looks like he's falling out of DRS range.
Yeah, he might try and regroup here. If he can hold on for maybe a couple more laps, that'll leave him better at the end of the next stint. But it's that balance. Do I go early? Do I let them have the undercut? You just don't know. You are in a good position in terms of making that decision, being the car behind. You're privy to what the car ahead is doing.
If I was him, I'm taking that risk. I'm going for the undercut.
I don't think it's much of a risk, really. The medium tyre is very durable here.
Only reason why I say it's a risk is because the chance of safety car here is quite high. So safety car does come out. You will be caught out a fair bit. You see yourself drop down to P4 or something if Rosalind, Zay and Saggy Kids, the like, don't pit. The pit stop is worth around 18 seconds. So keep that in mind.
Not the longest of pit lanes here.
Yeah, it's very short when you look at it. 80 k's as well. And you come out on the inside of the track, so you're also cutting off a bit of distance there, although not a lot.
And
Oh, Mika! Sorry, I've just seen Mika lose it through the castle section. He might have wing damage, and I think he does. Psycho's had to go through, and I think he'll let Combat through as well. Might fight a little though.
I'm not seeing any end plate damage on the Williams. And Zayas retired.
Oh my goodness!
Where
And
is
this is
he?
out of safety car as well.
Safety car, and wow, that's a very peculiar position to see the Alfa Romeo parked.
You don't normally see it out of turn 15. It's normally, apart from the rain, it's normally easy in the dry just to get that foot planted. And you got a lot of space to the left-hand side just to catch the car, so...
Well, as you'd expect both leaders in. All the soft runners you expect to see in.
Yeah.
And Mika, does he have damage? We'll find out now. And this puts him and the other medium runners into an awkward situation where a free pit stop is great, but what tyre do you put on?
Oh, exactly. Do you go for another set of mediums?
Yeah, well, you're going to have to make 2 stops again, unless you put the hards on, but the hards are pretty garbage
awful
around here.
Yeah. They're garbage around most tracks, to be honest with you. Don't really want to be touching them.
There's a few tracks they're not bad at, but most tracks you can make the mediums and the soft work with a little bit of care and love. If you wish on a lucky star.
Might just work out for you.
If you say please.
If you
All
say
these
please.
little things. Yeah,
All those
please.
little things.
If you ask those Pirellis nicely, they might hang on.
They might not get punctured.
That's it.
I'm seeing some interesting engine warming tactics from Sneaky here. He's chucked it in neutral, then he'll chuck it into a first gear, rev it out at 1200 RPM, 1300 RPM. Then go to second gear, do the same thing. Do the same thing in third gear. Quite amusing when you look at it.
Just hearing the Honda growl.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to burn a little bit of fuel as well. Not the easiest thing to do in this game.
Well, that would probably be the smartest thing to do. I mean, this is helping him out a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, on the contrary, you're licking his lips. I've done it again.
Oh, stop it.
This is great for him in his fuel situation, so that should, you'd say, be rectified by the end of this safety car, which will be at least another lap, as Memphis is just exiting the pit lane now on a fresh set of the medium compound tyres.
Nice to see. I'm just trying to look at his dash. Looks like it's minus 0.5, so I think you're right about that kind of leveling out. Maybe he needs another 2 VSCs or maybe another safety car just to get back into that green and stay out of the red, but I think, we'll have at least one more lap of the safety car.
Yeah, he's already recovered half of it in the sort of lap we've been under the safety car, so looking good for Lick. Is there anyone else in, let's not say a fuel crisis, because this helps them, but I don't think anyone else has underfueled the car per se, or at least is still underfueled. So everyone should have plenty of fuel to make it to the end.
Quick scroll through the field and I can confirm that. I think you might have done that yourself though.
Yes, I wonder how much they're paying per litre. I had to fill up my car today. It wasn't a pleasant experience, let's just say
I was driving home from work and I saw the prices up, a nice 30 cents. It was not a great sight, but
yeah, I've been filling up basically every other day, just because they're just going to keep going up most likely. So, mate, $2.20 is going to seem like a bargain. Just you wait.
In a month, I think I'll agree with that. In a month, I definitely will agree with that. But still under safety car conditions, back in AFR talk. And we're waiting on Vassar and Skins to catch up to the safety car queue, which I think they will by end of sector 2. Did not mean to rhyme there, but it is what it is.
I've been keeping this in my pocket. I think the replay should work of the start, so shall we have a look?
Let's have a look. Kindness is over. It is race time.
And it did
the
work,
five
because
lights
the 5 lights
over
went
these
out,
drivers.
and
There's a
it was
quick
a
set of
pretty
lights,
even
and they're
jump
out
from the
straight away.
first,
Looks like
row.
everyone's getting away cleanly so far. Looks like a McLaren is bogged
then
down
the 3
down the
wide
back.
in the
But oh, we have a
background,
3
and
wide
then
already.
one
And the McLaren,
six.
it's not a McLaren. A Haas has
Oh,
absolutely
Nemo just
sent it
launching
into
it
turn
into
1.
the
Looks like that's
side.
Nemo, and it's caused a decent
Of
pile up at the
forehead,
back.
and
This is
caused a little
Spicer
bit of
involved,
chaos
Psycho
further
involved,
back.
Combat Rat and Skins. Both the McLarens are
Not too many
involved.
people really
That
came
looks like
in the end of
Nemo
the
with
first lap,
damage.
just a
He was the
couple,
one that
so
looked like he sent it down the
It
inside
might
of
have
mid.
looked big, but it wasn't too bad.
A lot of cars got caught up and had to slow down because of that incident. But looking at it, I think Forehead, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some form of floor or side pod damage. I know we're on standard damage, but it can still happen with a big enough impact. That may have been a big enough impact to warrant it. I think we will get safety car in this lap. But one thing one of my good friends says, and one thing Mikhail says, former Tier 1 champion, multiple race winner, multiple podium getter, is safety cars breed safety cars. So we will see if there are any more safety cars. My money is on yes. I'm not sure what you're thinking, Deezy, but
I heard it's paying good odds for another safety car. That's all I'm going to say.
heard it's paying more than $2.20. Oh, sorry, less. Good odds.
Yes.
The other way around.
What's the lineup plus over or under?
Gamble responsibly, guys.
Definitely. Or just save yourself the trouble and don't. But safety car's still staying out, mate.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
don't think Skins is close enough through that S section, 18 and 19, to warrant a safety car coming in. So we will have one more lap. We'll have green flag racing from lap 10, so 17 laps maximum. That's possible, barring no VSCs or more safety cars. Lick will lead us away, barring he doesn't spin or crash into a wall under the safety car.
You've just said it,
Grosjean,
haven't
I'm
you?
looking at you. I have said it. I
You've
have said it.
We'll
I
find
might have
out if
just
the
cursed it.
commentator's curse is real. Are you a believer in the commentator's curse, Seb?
I'm a believer when you say it and then you don't mention it afterwards. And because we've mentioned it, I just don't think it'll happen, but,
Yes.
you know. Sneaky behind, all followed by Frozzle. Frozzle wouldn't mind his teammate Zay with him, but Zay has retired from the session. Out at turn 15 in sector 2. I believe it was lap 6. Zay Kid follows, then Smitty, 6 lap old mediums. Along with Nemo and Forehead, they have the oldest tyres on the grid. And everyone on the grid has mediums at the moment. Dalek follows Smitty, 4 lap old mediums. Then we have Psycho and Combat Rat. Nemo, as I mentioned before, P9, 6 lap old mediums, as I keep saying. Mika there in P10, final point. He'll be fighting out with Forehead, who we believe has side pod or floor damage, in P11 in the Aston Martin after that incident with Nemo at the very start. Keep the P12 up from P17. That was his starting slot at the start of the race. Mr. Spicer P13, Vassar 14, and Skins P15.
The Sagi Kid, the best winner out of the field. He's on a fresh set of mediums and he's up 10 spots, so
I haven't noticed that at all. That is massive.
yeah, that's big moves for the Ferrari. And the safety car is in this lap. We've had the confirmation, mate. So now Lick is going to be controlling the pace of the field. And when
Now-
does he go? That's the question. I
Oh,
think
this
you're about
is-
to ask the same question.
This is the interesting thing. Last season, he didn't have the best of restarts. He got disqualified because he overtook the safety car before the safety car got in the pits, and they passed the start-finish line. So I think he's learned from that. When you lose a P2 from disqualification because of that, I think you will definitely learn from it. But he's got to go when Sneaky does one of those little waves, and he has gone. He has definitely gone. There he goes. Safety car's in the pits. And Lick has called it green, but I think he might have gone too early because Sneaky's got a great run. He's got the slipstream. He's got the ERS. He could have a look around the outside here. Here we go. Green flag racing. Sneaky goes for a lunge around the outside. And they're going side by side now through turn 1 and 2 on the run down. Braking earlier. All Sneaky
contact.
just turning in. And they have made contact. I don't think there's any damage. But Lick looks like he's a beneficiary here. He's gotten a better run. But Sneaky tucking into that slipstream once again, DZ. Trying to go around the outside once again, like turn 1. Can he do it into turn 3? He will back out, and Lick will take and hold on to turn 1. Behind Smitty getting into P4. Sagi Kid dropping to P5. That's a rather entertaining restart, if you don't mind.
Yeah, great defence there from Lick, occupying the inside line, and definitely down there at turn 3, mate. Just sort of parking it on the apex as Sneaky looked to try and go for that switchback.
Yeah, that's a great mention. Dalek having a look down the inside of Saggy Kid. It doesn't work for him, but that's a great mention. He did really park it, and it looks like Sneaky did want to go for that switchback and had to back out, had to turn out of it to avoid running into the back of Lick, potentially causing damage or potentially causing a spin. So great defensive driving from Lick right there.
Yeah, great driving all round from those two, as we're just riding on board with Frozzle, just watching the action unfold in front of his eyes.
Oh, he might have to do more than watching. He needs to use that ERS, you reckon? Stay within DRS, because right now he leads. If he was to fall out of DRS, he would be leading a massive DRS train of 13 drivers. Yellow flag, sector 3, that's Dalek around. We could have another safety car here.
Oh, he's around on the left-hand side. Yeah, it is. There it is. The second safety car of the evening. Third if you include the virtual. And Dalek is out. And another spinner down there at 16. In similar fashion to, I think it was Keeper in qualifying.
Yeah, I think that's right. Keeper in qualifying. Now we have 14 left. It's almost shades of last season. We had, I believe, 9 drivers finish in Tier 2 in this Baku race. And once again, we're going to do another safety car run. Probably 2 laps this time instead of 4. But safety car staying out again. And then we got to do the tyre warming stuff, restart.
Well, someone's going to do some tyre warming as Nemo on those hard compound tyres, mate.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Has he used the soft tyres? I'm not sure if he has.
I'll give it a check. Quite interesting call. He has not touched the softs at all.
If, hypothetically, if he does this lap on the hard compound tyres and the safety car stays out, which it will, because it's the first lap, he could theoretically pit again and put the mediums back on, and that's his tyre change of compound done for the race.
Well, painful
maybe that's
for
what he's
Smitty.
thinking.
Yeah, maybe that is what he's thinking. Painful for Smitty. He's on the medium tyres right now, and he's been on mediums only this whole race.
Yeah.
So he has to have that lap 20, lap 8, maybe even lap 16 safety car, just so he can get on the soft tyres. But even then, he does have, I believe he has a fresh set of softs available to him. But 6 laps and then those tyres go, you got 4 laps where you're just really fighting it. And once those medium tyres are up to temperature, it's not like they're a terrible tyre compared to the soft tyres in the race. They do hold their own because they do maintain temperature a bit better than the softs, which tend to overheat if you start to push a bit.
Yeah, definitely, but that's, one of the advantages of the soft tyres. An early safety car really does play into your hands, not just here in Baku, but at most circuits. And unfortunately for him, the tyre life of the softs here isn't the most impressive of the calendar.
Yeah.
And the hards are too hard, so he's stuck between a rock and a hard place here with those medium tyres.
And once again, another DT pun for the night. How many is that? 4?
You got to get as many as you can in.
I respect it, but there's a limit,
Do we need a tally counter up in the top right of the screen?
We might. We might.
Or is that just going to incentivise it for me more?
Nemo, as you stated, has come back into the pits. I think he'll go into those other set of mediums he had. Looks like he is.
Yeah, yellow tyres waiting for him.
So he'll be at the back of the grid, but doesn't have to worry about compounds anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He can go to the end. Vassar and Keeper have fresh mediums on this grid as well. They've opted to go to the back, but take the fresh mediums.
It's very easy to bring up the tyre wear under this safety car here. Temperature's not the easiest to maintain, and if you're trying to get those, especially those rears ready to go for the restart, that wear can really sneak up on you. So something you got to think of, especially for those guys who are on those 4 or 5 lap old mediums now. That's already a bit of an extended stint for them.
Tyre warming's the hardest thing to do around here. This safety car is quite slow in these slow sections, especially this middle sector. So it does get quite painful being behind it. Hard to get temperature in it, but best spot to get temperature is from turn 16 to turn 1. Turn is when the safety car is at its fastest.
Yeah, and you've got a long time there and a lot of width to play with. As we coming past the infamous Grosjean section. Speaking of tyre warming.
Where's Ericsson?
Where is he when you need him?
Where is he?
He's been involved in a bit of Twitter controversy recently. I'm not sure if you saw.
The Jensen Button tweet?
That's
that was
it.
quite funny. I've seen that. If you haven't
That
seen
made me
that,
laugh
go to
very
Twitter.
early yesterday morning.
Safety car in this lap. Oh, yeah, Marcus Ericsson. I remember watching the 2018 Drive to Survive, and he said he was at the peak of his career. Quite funny because he was. No, I don't mean to be mean to him. I'm not better driver than him, but he's not that good compared to the other 19 on the grid, barring Kubica probably. So, Sirotkin. That's right. But we're about to get underway again, Daisy.
Yes, we are.
And it's Lick this time. Will he go later? No, he's gone already.
He's gone
again.
already.
Gee, I think this is a mistake. Look how close Sneaky is. 310s. He could have a run into turn 3 this time. Doesn't look like he'll have to run into turn 1, but Lick all over the place. Green flags. Once again, overtaking possible. Now into turn 1.
But for third.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong. Smitty, a bit of a snap down the inside. A Frozzle Mika getting by Combat Rat. Those two tussling for P7. Mika around the outside of the McLaren edging forward, under braking. Mika kind of backing out, getting a bit of wheel spin. We'll see him into P8. Lick and Sneaky once again just weaving down the straight. Smitty around the outside this time of Frozzle. Oh, this time will not stick it. Vassar and Gins going at it. Turn P11 I should say. There's an incident. Nemo and Keeper in the instant spun around. He's down in P14. Nemo once again in an incident. This time lap 13, this time turn 3. Oh, that clean restart and only looked like one position change between Combat Rat and Mika. Oh, Smitty, 3-second time penalty, Deezy.
That would be for the apex down there, turn 7. Easy to do. You want to take as much liberties as you can and get right up against that inside wall on the exit, but a little bit too much from the Williams driver on this occasion, and he's earned himself a 3-second penalty, which is going to be big, especially given how close this field is, and he's still got another pit stop to make.
Yeah, I didn't even take that into account. He does, and you're not wrong. One stop from mediums to mediums. He has to go into a set of hards or a set of softs, and he's yet to do that. Yet to do the compulsory tyre change. Different compounds, and he's found himself in P4 with a time penalty, and as you said, has to pit again. And we said that pit stop is 18 seconds, so at the moment he'd easily find himself down the field. Frozzle and Smitty once again though, battling out. Smitty with all that juice just being used down to 37%. He's gone deep though, and Frozzle will get that switch back. So things not working the way of the Williams driver at the moment. The New Zealand native unable to make that move stick, and with that time penalty and the pit stop he needs to make, it's not coming together, but he'll have another go at Frozzle here, DZ. Gaining slipstream, pulling to the left, not out braking the Alfa Romeo though, touching him on the rear, and Frozzle maintaining P3 as he has this whole entire race just in front of Smitty.
He's making him work hard for it, is Smitty. And the front two have really profited out of this. They have checked out in their own battle, as it was before the safety car.
Very good point. News from Pepsi. Nemo didn't touch him. Keeper just spun off the Vassar.
Speaking of spinning, that's big. And he's got his Williams teammate with him.
Oh my goodness. Mika is stuck behind him. You're not wrong. How's that happened to Mika? Has he just lost it slightly through turn
Mika sort of panicked, I think, as he came around into the castle section and ended up just parked behind him.
Wow.
Looking at the replay.
News from Pepsi. Nemo didn't touch him. Keeper just spun off the Vassar.
Speaking of
spinning,
that's big. Aggressively, and he's got his Williams teammate with him. He was having a little snap of his own on the entry to the castle section.
My
and
goodness.
Found himself nicely parked behind his teammate.
Mika is stuck behind him.
As
You're not wrong.
Bacanelos once again.
How's that happened? And another safety car, the third, and we haven't really had any green flag running so far. Had like a lap and then safety car has Psycho into the pits. Oh, this is an interesting call. Not the only one. Forehead following suit. Gin stays out. Vassar stays out.
I see medium tyres for Psycho.
I think that makes sense.
anything more than 4 laps, really, the medium's the better for the stint.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you're saying, it's just stop, start, stop, start.
Hard for the drivers to get in the rhythm. Hard to keep those temperatures in the tyres as well. There should be another 2-lap safety car, so we should get going from lap 17 onwards. There'll be green flag racing, and that'll be exactly 10 laps of potential green flag racing we will or could have. But I'm at this rate, I'm almost certain we could have another safety car.
I was about to say, can we go one more? Can we go one more? Can Tier 2 eclipse the Tier 1? It's 3.
What I would like to see, safety car lap 18, see who pits on the softs, see who stays on the mediums, see who pits for mediums. No one gets any penalties till the end of the race, and we just see which is the best strategy and which works out better. I think it's from lap 18, heading on to the meds is not a bad idea, but it is all to be seen. Just depends if you have those fresh set of softs available that you just didn't touch in qualifying. That's what Smitty did have, but he's obviously out of the race.
Can't
in the
use them now.
section.
They're
Yeah,
going
can't
back to
use
the
them at
Pirelli
all.
headquarters.
It's safe for a later date.
Should we get Bernie to turn the sprinklers on?
Oh, might as
Throw a
well.
bit of wet weather into the race?
Very well could. If
That
anyone-
wasn't one of his... He's had better ideas back in his day, did Bernie Eccleston. Although we did sort of see a similar thing in testing this year at
We
Barcelona. The big
I think
tanker
that
trucks.
was. I think that was Pirelli initiated, just to see how those wet tyres were with the 23-inch rims. I think. I believe
18.
so.
18.
18 rims. I always get that wrong.
They're
don't know why I
big
said
tyres.
23.
That's what
They're
they
big
are.
tyres.
They're big, heavy tyres.
Be interesting how fast pit stops are as well this season.
I'm hearing that they're not much slower.
Not much slower. Okay. Well, the first
Nothing has
race.
changed regulation-wise regarding it.
Yeah.
We had those regs brought in, was it Hungary? After Hungary last year?
It was
Which-
yes at
yeah,
Spa.
yeah, so after the summer break, effectively. Which looked to improve the safety of the pit stops after a few unsafe release.
Question mark as to whether it did. I don't know. But real life F1 does start next week. Bahrain. Oh, it's going to be a cool season. I haven't been this excited. I haven't been this excited for a season in a long time. I'd say since 2012 when they brought in those stupid noses. Helped the racing out, but
Yeah, mate, that was a brilliant start to that season. 7 winners in 7 races.
and it kept going
Even
all the way
Maldonado
through.
had a race.
Even
race win.
Maldonado, of all people.
Schumacher had a podium.
He had
It
a
all
pole
happened
as well.
He did. Or did he have a pole? He had a pole
Had it
taken
taken
away from
away.
him. He had the
Yeah.
fastest time in qualifying, but he didn't have the pole position awarded to him.
Crashed into Bruno Senna the round before, I believe, and that gave him a 5-place grid drop. Might have been gearboxes, or actually no, I don't think it would have been.
I think it was just a
that's what it was.
5-place grid penalty.
Yeah, it was a
for-
5-place grid drop for hitting Bruno Senna into turn 1 at Spain,
That's
as you
right.
do.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see even the order. Honestly, I couldn't tell you in what order the cars are. You could probably group a few at the top, but I don't think you could pick out a worse car.
It's going to be very tough. It's going to be very cool to see qualifying come Saturday night / Sunday morning. Got to update Felix Fuel. I'd like to be able to see him stop weaving that wheel so I can see. It looks like it's +2 laps, so I think he's good. Yeah, it is +2
He's
laps.
gone-
+2.1.
There's been a 3-lap change in the fuel margin on that Aston Martin.
Amazing what a safety car can do. All 3.
Yes, absolutely.
Mika, only driver on soft tyres.
Theoretically, you could make him work to the end.
Yeah, I
But
don't
when does
think they'll
Lick
be
go
fast
this
enough.
time? He's gone relatively toward the same spot twice.
Yeah, he has to shake it up. He has to.
The safety car's in the pit lane now, so he's
He's
free to
gone
go.
again.
And well, he's gone
He's going to get overtaken.
a little bit earlier this time, but Sneaky is right with him this time. And
He's
both on
surely
the
going to get
juice.
overtaken.
Everyone's on the juice.
pulling out the
Sneaky's looking on
slipstream.
the outside again. And Lick's not going to let him have that. They're still running side by side. As someone's gone around in the background, that would be Keeper in the Mercedes. But at the front there, Julian contact again. But around the outside on this occasion, Sneaky has taken the position from the Aston Martin.
Vassar into P5, DZ. Skins fighting the Alpine. They're going side by side. Oh, Skins nearly getting squeezed into the wall by the Alpine. But Sneaky into P1, followed by Lick, then Frozzle. Saggy Kid right there as well. Vassar second off. Skins following him and battling him. Nemo then trailing the McLaren in P7 with Psycho behind. Forehead right there, P9. And Mika into P10. So from P14 to P10 goes the Williams driver.
Flying on those soft compound tyres. He's got to make hay while the sun shines. Because they're not going to last too long.
No, you're not wrong about that.
They're already lighting up the rears out of the turn 7.
Gee, you just got to be careful about that.
They're the tyres you really need to look after around here.
Exactly. Right now, Lick and Sneaky pulling away from Frozzle. Frozzle was kind of there out of turn 2 after Lick lost it a bit on the inside of Sneaky, but it's kind of fallen off. Lick at the moment is kind of flirting with that 1 second gap though. May not have the tyres up to temperature. And you see Sneaky's just pulling away slightly. That's flirting with that gap right now, Lick. He needs to be careful.
Both pretty ERS. The same. That's great English from me. But similar on the ERS level. That's the words I was looking for. As the Ferrari moving past the Alfa Romeo on the main straight. Up onto the podium goes the Saggy Kid.
All very similar on the ERS are the top 5. Not Vassar, sorry, the top 4 I should say. Around 60-50%. Keeper is pitting. Looks like he's getting a change of wing and some new tyres to boot.
That'll be a safety car in 2 laps. He'll be back on the field.
I don't doubt that.
I heard it here first. Really exclusive. Breaking news.
If this doesn't happen, then you've done the almost a reverse curse there.
Yeah, I have. I would like to see some green flag racing though.
I would. We haven't seen much of it.
How many laps of DRS have we had? 3? 4?
Let's see.
You could count
3,
on your
4,
finger
5.
on one hand.
we don't really count 6. I think we've had 3. I think we've honest to God had 3 laps. Hopefully, touch wood, we can get some more green flag racing. We get some DRS action. We get some battling for P1, battling for P3, battling for P5. We've got a big train from P5 all the way down to P11. 2 soft runners in the field of 13 left. That's Keeper and Mika down P10 and P13. Mika part of that train I just mentioned before, the big one. But Lick looks like he's just in range of Sneaky. In and out of it. He needs to use that ERS though.
No,
he's just going to
not on this
concede
occasion.
it. Looks like he's just going to concede the win here. Unless he's... Oh no, he's using it now. Is he ever? Oh, just a little bit.
He left it too late. He was so close at the detection point.
I think he might have. I think he has. I don't think he wants to go for it. I think he's taking it easy, to be honest. I think he's just accepting the points.
P2 was a great start to the season, nonetheless.
In a short season, you don't want to be spinning around. So, I think if he's taking precautions and just understanding Sneaky is faster, then I don't mind that. I don't blame him. But he showed last time around it that first 6 laps that we did have green flag racing consistently. That well, he can catch back up to Sneaky, and he might have just done that. He's taken 2 tenths out of Sneaky through turn 5 and 6.
It's ebbing and flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
This needs it to ebb a little bit more in his favour before the next detection point. But great scraps here for P5, headed by that Alpine you were mentioning. And
Doing a very good job.
Skin Psycho, Nemo, Forehead, Mika.
He's up P11. Sorry, up 11 spots. Vassar. Started P16 into P5. Likewise for Saggy Kid, started P14 up into P3. Saggy Kid from, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but he's done this before in Tier 3, but I'm on a bit of a clinic here. Coming down so far and putting his way up into podium spots. He does have Frozzle to negotiate though, and Frozzle has shown some pace this race, but eyes to P6 and 7. Psycho so close to Skins. Skins will have some DRS assistance from Vassar. What he won't have is that slipstream power that Psycho has.
Going to lose
Look
both.
at that. Oh, 3 wide. Vassar looks like he's getting squeezed between. He kind of had to back out there, I think, Daisy. He's got
I think
squeezed
he
between
did.
the McLaren and Psycho as McLaren goes deep. And Vassar nearly getting alongside Skins, but Skins is losing on the traction. Vassar had to back out, otherwise he would have hit the McLaren. The McLaren's front.
but swing
McLaren
on
has dropped in
McLaren.
his round. He's lost wing as well, Daisy.
Oh, that's heartbreaking for him. After they just put that Alpine in a sandwich, he's gone spinning round.
Right around. And it's a gift to Psycho as well. Right gift to him.
Now he heads this train.
He does. What he has behind him is Vassar. Still up 10 places, so doing a good job. Nemo, who will probably be getting a penalty for his turn 1 incident, lap 1. And you got Forehead now, who's on redemption, looking down the inside.
Oh, that's
Center
late.
of it. Oh, Nemo, you see, very late.
You're not really
Yeah,
much
back
later
to
than
Vassar.
that. There's
Yeah.
not going to be much runoff down there. If you get it
Yeah.
a little bit later than that. But put it
You
up
get a lot
nicely.
of, you get a lot of wall instead of runoff when you exit turn 7.
The concrete
See
is
that?
very effective at stopping you. It's just not ideal for the condition of the car.
Yeah, it's a very good one. Vassar P6, he's dropped out of DRS of Psycho. He's followed by Nemo, then Forehead, then Mika, then Spicer and Combat Rat. Keep in mind, Mika on those off tyres. A little bit of work for him to do, but Frozzle, within 6/10 of Sagan Kid, he's gaining on the fellow Ferrari powered car. It's Ferrari versus Alfa Romeo. Italian team versus Italian team. Doesn't look like Frozzle has any ERS to use. Meanwhile, Nemo, same ERS as Vassar, but the beneficiary of DRS and Slipstream sees him down the inside of the Alpine, the P6.
Moved over on him very late there, and it sort of spooked the Alpine in turn 1. It might have cost him a chance here at any run down towards turn 3.
Might just well have. Oh, he's got plenty of ERS here to work with if he wants to get a move on Vassar. Vassar having a look into turn 3, thinking better of it. Not going for that risky dive into turn 3. Doesn't normally pay off on the inside with how the corner works. Oh, we got a bit of a tut there from Forehead. Forehead kind of backs out the corner, out of the traction zone, just to give Vassar the place back. Remember, AFR rulebook states that if you cause a collision, then overtake the driver that you hit, you can be penalised for it.
Can't just give him the bump and then pass.
The bump and run.
The bump and run, yeah. Sometimes you just want to try and get on with it. You feel like you have so much pace. You're just going to try and keep yourself in check. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, easy, a lot easier said than done.
It's easy on this side of the little lobby with the microphone.
When you can just sit here flicking a button, pressing a keyboard, very easy to say things. But a bit different when you're on the wheel and making the decisions. I know what it's like. You know what it's like. I think everyone else in
We've
chat
all
knows
made
what it's like.
mistakes when racing.
We definitely have. Oh, Mr. Spicer, and Forehead, and Vassar, 3 wide down this main straight. Mr. Spicer looks like he's going to take P7, but Forehead will try and stick his nose around the outside. Holding it, backing out. Mr. Spicer takes P7. DRS is pulling the AlphaTauri along. And he'll try and go on the back of Nemo here. Hasn't really pulled away from Forehead, who was getting held up by Vassar. And now we got a real fight in our hands for P6.
Yeah, definitely. And the final spot on the podium still up for contention as well. Frozzle's not letting Saggy Kid get away from him as we have just under 5 laps remaining.
Back onto that P3 fight, you know, Saggy Kid's got around 50-60% ERS, Frozzle has around 30%, 40%, so bit of disparity between the two, 20% difference. That could be the difference in the end of the day, or the end of the race I should say, who gets his final podium spot. But Saggy Kid doing a mighty job. Come from P14 to stick it in the podium places. Had a bit of a snap there. I think you saw that, DZ.
Yeah, I was just riding on board at the back here with Frozzle, just getting a nice little view of that little tank slapper outside of the castle section.
Oh, guess who's on the back of this train, or this 2-car fight? It's Psycho. He's joined the party.
Yeah, two-car train. It's now a 3-way fight for that third spot on the podium. And as they're going to come past the pit lane now, they can see the champagne. It's being taken out of the fridge. It's being put onto the podium. And who is going to have the drink? All three of them are in with a chance. Psycho, Frozzle, they're going to have that DRS advantage on the Ferrari as we come powering at V max down the straight one more time.
One more time indeed. We got 4 laps remaining in this 26 lap race. 23, 24, 25 and 26. Right now, Sneaky leads on 15 lap old mediums. Likewise, Lick behind him and Saggy Kid as well, battling out with Frozzle, both on those 15 lap old mediums. Guess who's got half the tyre length, or sorry, half the tyre life of them? Psycho. He's been on those tyres for 7 laps versus 15. Nemo behind 12 lap old mediums. We're expecting him to get a penalty, but Mr. Spicer is still pushing him to try and get P6 on track. 4 head behind as well. We think he's been dealing with side pod and or floor damage all race after his incident with Nemo into turn 1 lap 1, with Basser behind in P9 and Combarat rounding off the points in P10. We've seen Mika drop out of the points now. Those soft tyres really aren't working for the Williams driver as Skins sets the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, just had a nice little toe there from Kiefer with a bit of DRS, and it's dragged him all the way up. And he's taking the fastest lap on that fresh set of softs. And so is it fastest lap available to outside the top 10? Or is it top 10 only?
It's available, but they don't get the point.
They don't get the point.
So you may get the stat, but you just won't get the point.
Take it away from one of your rivals. That's just as good.
That's the main thing. Yeah, that is the main thing. Versus battle on track right now. Combo Rat and Basser for P9, but don't forget about Psycho and Frozzle and Saggy Kid all for that elusive podium spot. Psycho got a bit of work to do because Frozzle has DRS here. He needs to use a bit of that ERS to get alongside him into turn 1. He might be doing that here, DZ. A lot of juice being used.
Yeah, a lot of juice as we came just out of those sweepers, and moving to the right hand side he goes, and toward the braking zone there, just ahead comes Psycho into the braking zone, a little bit deeper on the brakes, and claims that position. Now he can launch an attack on the Ferrari ahead.
Brave on the brakes and bold into the way to the P4 through turn 1. And he's got his sights set on that Ferrari. He's on a charge, Psycho, right now.
So his teammate Spicer, he's looking at Nemo in the background. And as we come down towards the third corner, he's choosing the outside line and sweeps around him. That's a very elegant move from the AlphaTauri.
Classy, that's what that is. Picked it perfectly and just carried the speed around the corner. Knew Nemo couldn't dive him too much, otherwise Nemo could be in for a bit of strife and get turned around as Skins once again sets the fastest lap of the race. Going in P12 of our 13 races remaining.
So just a few more chances now, especially with that DRS, as they're fighting out for those final few points. Will it be Saggy Kid? Will it be Psycho? Will it be Frozzle? Could it be Spicer? Could it be Nemo? Who knows who's going to be standing on the podium?
Oh,
and
Mr. Spicer
closing that gap at the front as well.
He's gaining massively. You've actually brought up a good point about Mr. Spicer here. He could be pulling along along Nemo and Forehead. Very much could be pulling them along.
He definitely is. And if these guys battling for third battle more for a bit of side-by-side action, that's just going to further bring them onto the back of this train.
2 laps remaining in this 26 lap race. We've had 3 safety cars so far.
Kind of Lick at the front. Find 4/10 through the rest of the lap. Get some DRS, maybe, just to have one last shot at the lead.
He's tried to. He's got 15%, not even. 20% ERS versus 25% for Sneaky. They're both dead even equal on ERS, so he's going to have to pull that 4/10 out of absolutely nowhere. And he's probably going to have to pull more if he wants that move over the line. He's going to need something special. He's going to need a sneaky mistake, I believe.
He's going to need to send it up through the castle section. That's what he's going to need to do.
Very risky indeed. Will it pay off? I don't know. 1.5 seconds.
Is it worth a gamble? What's going on inside the mind of these drivers?
The psychology of a race driver. Everyone's different. Everyone's got their different philosophies, different beliefs, different preferences, different pace, different skill sets. Lick looks like he's gaining here. He's really gaining this past 2 corners.
Using the ERS. He could be on here.
He could very much be on. He needs to use the ERS though. on this. He needs to get in DRS. If he gets DRS, that is massive. He's using it.
So is Sneaky. Sneaky's using his as well.
Oh, he's not going to get it.
He's not going to get it, but Sneaky, he's got no battery down the straight. Neither does Lick. Focusing back for the third place on the podium. Here comes Psycho, mate. And he's blowing past very early on this straight.
Oh, could this be risky for the AlphaTauri? Look at Saggy Kid just sticking in the slipstream, using a bit of ERS to stay with Psycho down the straight. This could prove costly if the Ferrari does indeed have the pace to hold it with the AlphaTauri, but he's had a snap. He's had a big snap and just held on to it. And that could be costly for that podium spot, but we'll have to wait and see. He's got Fozzle behind him. Another little snap from the Ferrari out of turn 2. And now here comes Fozzle on the run down to turn 3. Ferrari engine versus Ferrari engine. Ferrari versus Alfa Romeo. Fozzle will hold off. He will hold off to that final DRS straight. But he's right there, DZ. He's right there.
They're so close. Lick is flirting with the 1 second window. I have seen races decided on the final lap here as a drag to the line.
We've seen it all. We've seen it all. It happened last season in Tier 3 between myself and Lick on the run down the line. Right over the line. The gap was... Oh, Fozzle's got a 3 second time, buddy. He's cut turn 7. You'll see him drop down to, I think P6. He will be lucky with Nemo being around 4 seconds behind. But Fozzle might have just caught himself a chance at P4. It's 2 points, but that 2 points could prove massive come the end of the season.
As we come through this enter of Sector 3 for the final time here in Tier 2 Season 8. Sneaky 1.1 second lead over Lick. And we're going to come on to the home straight now. Sneaky is going to be seeing that checkered flag waving ahead of him. It's been a beautiful drive. He's at tremendous pace. And he's going to cross the line to win here in Baku ahead of Lick. Behind him in the Aston Martin, and it's going to be Psycho, mate. What a brilliant drive up to the podium for him in the AlphaTauri. Just ahead of Saggy Kid, who also put in a brilliant performance.
Up 7 spots. Psycho goes to P3. Saggy Kid, a brilliant performance, as you said. P4. Mr. Spicer follows in P5 with Fozzle's 3 second time penalty, dropping him behind the AlphaTauri. So a big weekend, a big night for the AlphaTauris. P3 and P5. Big haul of points there in Tier 2. Nemo in P7, we're expecting him to get a post-race time penalty. We'll probably drop him down to at least P9 with Forehead P8 and Combat Rat in that P9 spot. Vasa gets the final points on the evening, finishing off 8.7 seconds behind Combat Rat in that Alpine. Mika, Skins and Keeper will be finishing off this race outside of the points, but finishing nonetheless. Smitty, Dalek, Zay and Kalios out 4 DNFs of our 17-man grid tonight.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. Although the last 10 laps was great. We got some racing in.
We actually did get some
We got to see
racing.
what these boys can do under green flag conditions.
It was very good. Kept it going. They kind of fell apart though. You'd think he needed to use a bit more of that ERS in those first 2 laps of the restart to try and keep DRS, and that could have been the difference, but wasn't able to keep in within DRS, and Sneaky is a victor right there on the podium.
He lifts the silverware in delight. A brilliant performance and a deserving victor of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix set.
And that's a statement. He out-qualified everyone by 3.5 tenths. And he's gone and taken quite a measured win, I would say. Quite a measured win.
Yeah. Lights the flag victory, but in between, there was good battles with the Aston Martin of Lick, keeping us well entertained here in the commentary box. And Psycho, third man onto the podium. Brilliant drive from him. Just a pretty good race overall. Unfortunately, we just lost those 4 drivers through really incidents of their own.
Yeah, Smitty was the castle section. Dalek, I can't remember actually. What was Dalek?
I think, was Dalek a pit and quit, maybe?
Maybe.
Don't
can't
quote
remember.
me on
Zay,
that.
Zay was
out of
the turn
15,
15.
and
Yeah,
Kalios had out of the sweepers.
Yeah, the turn
on
19
1 or
sweeper.
2, very early on.
Technically the second last corner defined by FIA, but not really a corner unless it's the wet, to be honest with you.
Turn 16 is the final corner, isn't it, in the draw?
Yeah, pretty
Or at
much.
least at the beginning of the stint, and turn 18 becomes the corner at the end of the stint.
Not wrong about that. But
Kalios found out very early what a challenge that corner could be. Thoroughly enjoyed that, mate. Thank you.
Thank you. It was quite fun. Not sure when I'll get the chance to do this again, but it was a very good race. Congratulations to Sneaky once again, and Lick, Psycho for rounding off the podium in their respective teams.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you from everyone at Aussie Formula Racing. Back next week for Bahrain, Seb. A great circuit, and there's going to be some great action on track.
Yeah, looking forward to it. One of those great tracks where you get to race really hard. That complex from turn 1 to turn really 5-ish. You can get a lot of battling going on with the double DRS happening, 2 detection points in that, little section of track. So should be a good one. 5:30. No, not 5:30. 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We'll be kicking off with Tier 3, where you'll get to see me drive.
How exciting! And you can tune in for Tier 1 and see me probably bin it. But anyway...